Welcome back. Let's kick off something interesting. Oh, wait, what am I holding? Hmm, interesting. Alrighty, let's a fucking around that's been going on. Has John Anthony Lifestyle returned to YouTube? No, just kidding. Hilarious. Fucking hilarious. We're gonna jump straight into this shit, I guess. Last time I was still pretty ill. I am coughing a little bit still, but let's not spend too much time doing this shit again. Let's just screen share this fun stuff. Alrighty, here we go. John Anthony Lifestyle banned from YouTube, released a few days ago. YouTube has terminated the John Anthony Lifestyle YouTube channel as of 1st of November 2025 in what some believe to be a shocking lack of surprise. What the fuck happened? Blah, 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 blah. Last numbers it had 242,000 subscribers, 20,843,295 views, according to Social Blade. So that's actually an interesting thing to look at. I'll just open that later. If you search John Anthony Lifestyle on YouTube, you will no longer find any of his videos or his channel. Actually, let's check again. Just let's see here. Yeah, this will be fun. Let's filter this a little to upload date. This is going to be interesting. There's a song, a little tribute for his demise, so that should be pretty interesting. Oh, look, is John Anthony Lifestyle back? Has he returned? Let's open this. URL has an S on it. So there's a clue that this is not the same thing. Someone has made it's got like one subscriber, I guess. Someone brought up like a bunch of I don't know if these are like old videos or something, but some random videos that just poke fun. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're gonna go through some other stuff, but I'm just gonna show you what's going on here. Um, yeah, like again, we can check your URL. That's not even the right one. Fuck it. I don't know. I'm over it. Whatever. Uh, obviously he's still banned. Um, yeah, anyway, I received a lot of messages from various dating coaches and YouTubers in the last few days, asking if their stuff will be affected. I already talked about this part, so I'll just fucking skip over this, but it's nothing to do with dating, pickup artistry, or anything like that. It's all to do with just abusing policies. So I already covered that last time, but here's the part just as a reminder for those who don't know. When YouTube bans channels, various things are taken into consideration, such as privacy complaints, which he did quite a few of in the past, and perhaps recently to some extent. I don't know exactly, but that definitely happened in the last 2 years at least. I know for a fact. Policy violations, which happened pretty consistently, and hatefulness of content in general. So, their words, not mine. All of which apply, obviously. However, the harassment and cyberbullying policies were probably a key part, probably, given a little bit of sarcasm there. Several examples within his this policy are very interesting, if you know what I mean. So repeatedly targets, these are exact quotations taken from YouTube's policy examples, but let's say content repeatedly targets, insults, and abuses an identifiable individual based on their intrinsic attributes across several uploads. So if I explain this one, there would be people in comments, like in random videos recently, talked about how he would basically do this. And he had videos like criticizing the wives and girlfriends of other coaches. That's basically what this would cover. And I remember a few things that he said about certain people, women in particular, and that pretty much covers that. Creates content that harms the YouTube community by persistently inciting hostility between creators for personal financial gain. So basically, his whole channel was that just attacking other YouTubers, figures in the industry, and a lot of them really, pretty much all of them were YouTubers, I guess. Um, so using that as his kind of business model, effectively, as his YouTube channel was ent pretty much almost entirely based on just talking shit about other people, repeatedly showing pictures of someone and then making statements like, look at this creature's teeth, they're so disgusting. These are just examples from YouTube, exact copy and paste, with similar commentary targeting intrinsic attributes, just like the first one, throughout the video. So this is similar to the thing where he would just like make videos on dating coaches and be like, this person's I'm giving the most lighthearted examples, but he would the kinds of things he has said that I know because I have watched them and I know exactly what he said. I'm not going to repeat them, but that's exactly what this kind of example refers to. If you guys can remember any of those, I'm not going to repeat the exact things he said, though. And this one's very similar. Using an extreme insult to dehumanize an individual based on their intrinsic attributes. For example, look at this dog of a woman. He basically said this almost word for word, but he chose something worse than dog in several cases. She's got the face of an animal, and her body is, yeah, just crazy stuff, really. So you guys have seen this kind of thing in the content he was creating. And here's another example depicting an identifiable individual being murdered or seriously injured. Murdered wasn't the case, but for example, if you guys remember some thumbnails, and I remember there were some thumbnails, including of myself, of Michael Sartain, of Jonathan Hogwood, Modern Life Dating, where the thumbnail was basically John Anthony lifestyle posing for the camera, wearing boxing gloves and pretending to beat us up, like me, Michael Sartain, Modern Life Dating, and he would just edit onto the thumbnail like bruises, blood, all kinds of like depictions of identifiable individuals like myself, like Modern Life Dating, like Michael Sartain, being seriously injured. It was not real injury, but depictions of him causing that kind of violence. So that is another example. Let's see if this makes sense. The video includes a clip from a movie where one character is brutally shot and killed. That's not the case here, but the video is edited so that a real individual's photo is placed over the actor's face. It's kind of a very similar thing, but these are just examples from YouTube, directly from YouTube. And here's another interesting one. We may terminate your channel or account for repeated violations. Repeated violations. Repeated violations. Keywords there. We may terminate your channel or account for repeated violations of the community guidelines or terms of service, which may also terminate your channel or account after a single case of severe abuse or when the channel is dedicated to a policy violation, which all of those make sense. Some people have circulated rumors that mess reporting is, yeah, that it wasn't even close to accurate. Yeah, but basically, some people were saying there was mass reporting, or lots of people were reporting him anyway. But that doesn't actually cause channels to be terminated. None of that makes sense. Um, That's really not how it works. So just some clarification there. Is he able to return to YouTube? Technically, yes, but very, 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 very unlikely. I was talking to since this happened quite a few. I got like close to 10 YouTubers who have talked to me recently asking for help with YouTube stuff. And one of them, I'm not going to name any names, but a few of them are very big kind of YouTubers slash figures. I'm not going to name them, but one of those was terminated. And I was able to check the reason he was terminated. And it turns out that this particular person I am talking about, and you guys will know who he is because he's very well known, but I'm not going to say who it is. It turns out that it'll be actually quite easy to get this person to come back based on how he was actually terminated. As I have to make this vague because I can't give the exact information about this. So apologies for how severely fucking vague this is. But I could help this person get it back. We'll see how that goes. But for that person, the reason I'm saying this, for that person, it's going to be easier. In the case of John Anthony Lifestyle, it's not going to be like that because it was a different kind of termination. One's done by termination of association, and John Anthony Lifestyle is more to do with policy violations. So I know it's super vague, but let's just fucking continue, I guess. Yeah. So unlikely. So meanwhile, what has he done in the last few days? This is pretty interesting. So I received a message from John on Reddit. It said, "I am not fucking kidding you." He sent me this shit. When was this? Like yesterday? It was like in the last 2 fucking days or something. I'm pretty, yeah, I think it was Friday. I think it was 2 days ago. I can check, but this is just a screenshot. Hi mods, I'm reaching out because I'm feeling really uncomfortable about this post that I made. He's saying that he made it, which makes no sense. Uh, and it's just comments, just a random fucking Reddit post. At the time I posted it, which wasn't even his fucking post. It just makes no sense at all. I didn't fully think through how it might unfold. Now, like channel termination. Now that some time has passed and I can't make YouTube videos anymore, I really don't want this part of my personal life and identity being discussed publicly anymore. This is just really funny to me. This thread does not discuss general ideas or concepts. It focuses on me personally, which is ironic because that he would do the same to everyone else. With users making negative claims presented as facts. Oh, how ironic. How ironic. Assumptions. How ironic about my character. How ironic. Assumptions. Hilarious. And insinuations that are not supported by evidence. How ironic. Oh my God. I'm gonna need a fucking drink for this one. Out of my official YouTube cup. There we go. Where the fuck was I? The conversation has escalated into ridicule and targeted personal commentary, which is what his channel was completely dedicated to. This has led to emotional stress. Oh, poor John. Emotional stress. Online harassment. How ironic. Which is what he got fucking terminated for in the first place. And harm to my reputation. I think he harmed his own reputation pretty consistently for at least 11 years before this. I understand that public discussion and criticism are part of being online, but the tone and direction of this thread have crossed into personal harm rather than constructive. or fair discussion, like his entire YouTube channel, obviously. Oh my God. I would sincerely appreciate your help in removing this post. It would really mean a lot to me, like getting his channel back. Thank you for understanding, John Anthony. Which is, I just think this is really fucking funny. I actually replied to him. This is just a screenshot before I replied, but I don't think he realizes that when he contacts the moderator, I am the person who sees it. It's just fucking hilarious because this is not the first one he has sent. This was only like 2 days ago. But I think there was one today that he sent, which was really fun. This is literally just hours ago. I woke up this morning. This was literally today. This morning, first thing I fucking see is yet another John Anthony lifestyle fake Reddit account that was just made, as you can see here. But let's read this one again. Obviously, yeah, he says it's him, and but it's another account, so it's pretty funny. This is like at least 5 or 6 accounts on Reddit in the last few weeks alone, and they're all the fucking same. Dear Reddit moderation team, which is me, I am writing to request the removal of the following posts for multiple violations of the community rules r/game global. Post URL, blah, 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 blah. That's a funny one. Curb your John Anthony lifestyle, liar, liar, pants. That's such a funny URL. Violations identified. Rule 1, no external content. The post links to a YouTube video. He thinks that's external content, which is clearly external content, not originating from Game Global. Okay. What the fuck? External links are explicit. He's telling me how to run my own fucking subreddit. Uh, it's so funny. External links are explicitly, oh, I'm fucking crying. Prohibited in the subreddit's rules. I made the fucking rules. He's telling me I'm breaking my own fucking rules. Oh, fuck. I'm fucking crying. Oh my God. Rule number 3. No negativity. The title, Curb Your John Anthony Lifestyle While Your Liar Pants on Fire Denies the Fire Gets Burned, contains inflammatory, no pun intended, and negative language aimed at an individual, violating my human rights, violating the rule against negativity and personal attacks. Rule 4, no hate. The tone and phrasing. Oh, I'm so insecure about this. The tone and phrasing demonstrate hostility toward a person, fostering division rather than discussion or respect, just like his YouTube channel. This content breaches multiple subreddit rules and contributes to a hostile environment. Kindly review and remove this post to preserve the integrity and respectful atmosphere of Game Global. You heard it here first. Integrity and respectful atmosphere of Game Global. That's what we're known for. Thank you and for your attention and action. Best regards, John F. I just think that's hilarious. I gotta read the comments. Let me stop screen sharing. I gotta catch up with the chat here. What's going on? Oh man, this is just too much for me. Uh, Najee, he was an absolute menace. Or let me filter so I can actually. Oh yeah, there were some that were hidden here. I can see them now. Najee, he was an absolute menace. I spoke to his former colleagues and people who were close to him, and they said he is not a good guy. You're not even the second or third person to say this in the last few days. This guy ripped me off. I paid for his AI photo shoot and got no matches. The Brazil Transformers hitter hire. God, that's hard to read. The Brazil Transformers hitter hire Freezer of Wars in Rio boot camps to fool the students that his teachings work. Already caught up now. All right, what's next? Those were some fucking hilarious messages on Reddit. It's just absolutely crazy. Anyway, let me screen share again. This is going to be a fun one. So anyway, how did John Anthony lifestyle get terminated? Here's the best part if you're smart enough to figure it out. If you're smart enough to figure that out. If you're smart enough to figure that out. If you're smart enough to figure that out. That's kind of pixelated, that one. If you're smart enough to figure that out. If you're smart enough to, I think we get the point. There were like hundreds I can fucking put up there. Workplace social circle game has defeated John Anthony lifestyle, and I even left clues about it. And that just you can find that video whenever time. I even left clues about it over a year ago, just to prove it. This kind of shit is best served ice cold. You're fucking welcome. There we go. Lots of fun shit. Ah, but lots of guys have seen this. Let's see social blade. So we're unable to collect new data because this person doesn't fucking exist anymore. But there we go. Isn't this funny though? I was literally talking about this over a year ago. Where is it? Subscribers gained throughout, yeah, the last few years. Isn't that a little suspicious? Lost subscribers gained, and then suddenly 11,000 subscribers gained, 13,000, and then nothing. Nothing, and then suddenly 5,000, 10,000, 6,000, 11,000, 2,000, and then lost, and then lost. So obviously, everyone knows by now that he had a shitload of fake subscribers in the first place. I literally had I still got it. I'm not gonna open it because it's gonna expose a lot of people actually, but I made a Google Sheets of various YouTube channels calculating the views to subscriber ratio of every channel. And of course, this one was the worst by far. Like, not even close. It was so fucking bad. The it was so fucking made up. The views to subscribers ratio. It was so fucking horrific. You just, if you saw like the table, the graph of like all the compared YouTube channels, it was just complete insanity. It was so obvious. 20 million views does not get you anywhere near 242,000 subscribers. It's something like, we got like 4 million views right now, and we got 16,000 subscribers now, but roughly when we were at 4 million, it was 15,000 subscribers. So times five, multiply that by five. It's really very, very, very way smaller than that. But even so, our ratio is actually a very good ratio. So realistically, would have only had approximate, and this is being generous, 40,000 to 50,000 subscribers. That's being generous. So, but we're not here to talk about that. Oh, look, what's this? I'm not supposed to show you guys that. Oh, wait, what is this? Let me turn the sound off at least. You guys probably can't hear it anyway, but what is that? Some infield footage that gives a clue? What's this funny looking YouTube jacket right there? Isn't that a little suspicious? Or when I was at the airport, how many years ago was this? 7 years ago, wearing the YouTube jacket. There we go. All the clues were there. All the fucking clues were there. But let's look at some memes. Let's look at some memes. That's all fun. Here's a good one. Or let me show the bigger version. Here we go. Here's a good meme. You know what? What's actually funnier than this in itself is that it's not enough people. You, there were so many people missing who could have been added to this. It's ridiculous. You could have added the other guy from Fresh and Fit, Walter Weeks. You could have added Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate. Could have added Owen Cook. Could have added, who was it? Like Todd. You could have added the whole fucking universe at this point. You could have added so many different people. There were so many guys missing from this. It's just crazy. The extent of how many people you piss off in one way or another. Not even that. I wouldn't piss off probably isn't the right terminology, but the amount of people you like attempt to expose, don't be surprised when everyone's fucking celebrating that your hateful channel has been terminated. And here you go. There's a good one. That's me right there. It's a real photo, of course. And here's a, you can't defeat me, says John Anthony Lifestyle. And then there's Modern Life Dating. I know, but he can. God damn. These are just absolutely insane. Send in your memes. It's just getting out of hand at this point. Well, let's see what's going on here in the comments. Deepak's missing. Yeah, there's another one. Steve the Dean missing, I guess. Wheat Waffles, Owen Cook, Casey Zander, Neil Strauss, apparently. I don't know. I'm not sure about that one. Crazy shit. But anyway, let's look at some. This is what you see on YouTube now. Just people uploading stuff that he wouldn't like. That's not his channel, by the way. This is someone who just made a channel that looks like he's back, but he's not. Although, just to address a few concerns, let's refresh this. It's probably got those fake subscribers already. Uh, the world's #1 dating coach for men. How funny. 7 hours ago, a new upload. So if you guys are wondering about this, don't worry, he's not back. Yes, it is him. It is him. Quite obviously, this was basically his backup channel. But in on the bright side, which isn't the bright side for him, but here's how channel terminations work. If your channel is terminated, you will get an email explaining the reason for the termination, blah, 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 blah. Circumvention of channel termination. If your YouTube channel is terminated, you are prohibited from using, possessing, or creating any other YouTube channels. You're also prohibited from letting others whose YouTube channels have been terminated use your YouTube channel to bypass their termination. This applies to all of your existing channels, any new channels you create or acquire, and any channels in which you were repeatedly or prominently featured. You know, technically, I could interview him once and it would be okay for him to be on Game Global. That would be okay. But if I like partner up with him and he makes videos, that will get us terminated. So don't interview him, basically, unless you want to do it once. That's my advice. So that's funny. So if I could do the same with Andrew Tate, for example, if I repeatedly invite Andrew Tate to the dating coach panels, the debates, that will get my channels terminated. All my channels will be terminated by association. So that's how that works. But yeah, just to emphasize here, all your existing channels and any new ones, they will be subject to the same kind of channel termination too. So the way this works is this is likely not associated to the same Google accounts he used for his original channel that was terminated last week. But here's the fun part. It's not so much automatic unless it's associated directly to Google accounts. I know that for a fact. So this is he probably did a little bit of research or something, or just wasn't connecting his accounts together. But this is his backup channel, I guess, made 2 years ago. And then isn't it funny that he was uploading to it like even slightly before this? You see here 2 years ago, and then 1 month ago. There's the gap. Well, 1 month ago. That's kind of funny. So maybe something happened that he was aware of before this, but he literally uploaded a video today, a few days ago, as if nothing happened. You can even check here 8 hours ago. He's even posting there 2 days ago as if nothing happened. It's crazy. And he's still saying things like, who's the worst dating coach? And stuff like this. It's crazy. So sooner or later, it's very likely that this will also disappear. John Anthony dating. So I'm just fascinated by how long it's going to take. I'm not going to do this myself, but you can literally just go here, report user, and none of them actually have the option for termination circumvention. It says harassment and cyberbullying. I guess that counts. Privacy probably counts. Impersonation of himself. So that doesn't really make sense. Violent threats. Child, well, oh, that seems kind of relevant, I guess. Hate speech against a protected group. Spam and scams. If you're if you're gonna do this, there's no option for channel circumvention, but the closest one to it would be spam and scams, and then that would take you to a page. And I'm not gonna do it, but I'm just showing you an example, just whatever. You can put in his original channel was terminated, and you can just put the URL of the original. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm just showing you guys. I'm just fascinated how long it's actually gonna take. But as soon as YouTube gets enough information on this, I would expect that it's just going to disappear as easily. So that'll be interesting just to count the days because that's literally channel circumvention. So I guess if he's creating new videos, he's literally just wasting his time just to get like, yeah, just a waste of time. So let's see what else there is. Oh man, let's keep up with the chat. Alex from Playing with Fire. What's your question? You're just like put someone's name in a question mark. That makes no sense. Any questions about this, guys? It's pretty straightforward. He's been using Reddit, making a bunch of accounts. So I already showed last time on the other stream, the other YouTube, no, the other Reddit profiles that he made, pretending to be a random person. And he even went as far as impersonating a Reddit moderator. That's how far he's willing to go. A literal impersonation on Reddit. And that's just Reddit. This is just anonymous internet stuff. It's just hilarious in one way or another. But let's look in the last 2 days. He has done it two more times on Reddit, but this time he gave a signature admitting that it's him. So it's just kind of funny. Agreed to be on that meme. Are you just John? I don't. Do people agree to be in memes? I don't think that's how memes work. It's like let me just someone just asks a random person, "Can I feature you in it?" Is that how the world works? I don't think so. That's a bit strange. But yeah, I want to see if there's anything else here. Uh yeah, aside from I might as well show this so almost every week I probably got a few weeks in. Yeah, I got at least 5 weeks in a row on this at least. So there's a thing that I've been doing for a few years. I just want to give this concept a bit of a shout out. I call it the social circle game report. It's basically a field report, but for social circle game. It's just social circle game themed. So any progress you make in your life, and I do this every 7 days on Sundays. Social circle game report throughout what happened in the last 7 days, Monday to Sunday. And last week's one, I was basically saying I reached 14,000 followers on Instagram, 602 new followers in the last 7 days, blah, 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 blah. And then I put the stuff about the YouTube meetings. So that's all fun because that's all to do with this. You can check that out on your own time. But I even received videos, phone calls from other guys who got bigger followings than me, just like being really happy with the termination from last week. So that was fun. But crazy little story. I'm not gonna talk through this. You can find it on your own time on the Game Global School group. My wife literally got a moment of fame. We can call it status fame, 15 minutes of fame, that kind of thing. I have plenty of these kinds of experiences before, but this was probably my wife's first time dealing with this. We had close to 100 people crowd us last week to take photos with us. It got pretty crazy. Um, And that's how I do the Instagram Reels, by the way. Those are my YouTube Shorts files, and then I just turn them black when I upload them to Instagram. That's where my real Instagram followers are coming from, unlike many other people, including the person who we're talking about this entire live stream. Real Instagram followers. But anyway, a few lessons here because I think this is interesting. I'm not gonna spend the rest of the time on the stream talking about this, but I'll answer some questions that come into the chat as they come. But a few lessons when you have a moment of fame, a fame moment. Let me just explain how I perceive fame. Like fame is basically it's not a thing you have or don't have. When someone says to another person, "You're not famous," I just think that's ridiculous because every person is famous. I just see it as a scale. So unless you are that woman who was living in Siberia who never saw another person for like 50 years because she was living in the middle of fucking nowhere in Siberia all by herself with zero human contact, unless you're that kind of person, that you have fame. So if you are literally known by nobody, you're not famous. Fame is just a scale. Fame is not a thing you have or don't have. It's a scale of basically how many people know you or give attention, however you want to fucking define it. But I just define it as it's a scale. So you are famous, your mom and your dad know who you are. You got family, you got friends. There are people who recognize you who you probably wouldn't recognize, just like random people. Like, for example, one of my first girlfriends, I didn't know who she was, but she knew me from school, and I just didn't know who she was. So people know that you exist. That's basically my idea of defining fame. But anyway, a few lessons here. Once you get a spike of attention or a spike of status, a fame moment, whatever you want to call it. No, it's actually up here. Let's see. First, oh man, let me drink a moment. So we went to the Mexican embassy in Peru hosted an event, Dia de los Muertos or Dia de Muertos, Day of the Dead. And I took my wife and my daughter, my wife's friend along. And while my wife was getting her makeup done, people started asking me for photos. I only had a fucking sombrero and cowboy boots. That's pretty much it. And I had a really shitty luchador mask, which I put on for like 5 seconds and then I just took it off because I realized this is really shit. Because I got it from Mexico City and it was like the cheapest one I could find. It's terrible. Like it's terrible in photos. So I just took it off and put it away. But anyway, uh, as soon as my wife was finished getting the skull makeup part done, people started asking for photos. And then very quickly, almost 100 people started swarming us. And it was just fucking constant. As soon as one person or a group finished photos, someone else would fucking jump right in immediately. Like, it's my fucking turn. But I have there are a few good lessons here. The reason I'm not saying this out of like boasting or anything, I just want to prepare you guys if you're going down the road of social circle game, when you get a moment like this, here are some lessons I want you to be aware of because this was the first time something like this was happening in the perspective of my wife. Um, so first, I told my wife about positioning. Next time, let's make sure everyone stands in the middle of us instead of my wife being in the middle and then, me on the outside or something. Because sometimes a random person would come in and I would be on the outside. And that's because I kept handing my light box. I actually got it here. Maybe you can't really see so much, but it's a light box. Just use it in the dark for situations like this. Kept handing it to people who were taking photos so that they can actually get photos that looked good in the dark. So I kept happening to be on the outside because I kept disappearing from the shot and then coming back in and then yeah, we were fucking up the positioning. So be if you want good photos of pre-selection and to show status, be the person in the middle. Middle is the ultimate message. I have said that for years. You can go back and see videos about this. I was already well aware of this. But that's a lesson if you're going to be in a moment like that, and especially if you're going to be like moving around and shit. Always be in the fucking middle of group photos. Be the subject of the photo, not for ego reasons, but it just looks so much better, and that those photos are going to last. People are going to see those on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, for as long as you have them there. So this is why your positioning is very important in photos. But anyway, yeah, that's the first lesson. Um, that's first lesson. Have the fans. They are fans owning themselves. I don't call them fans for ego reasons, but they are behaving like fans between the two of us. Second lesson. When my wife was getting hungry and we wanted to leave after being swarmed by so many people wanting photos for a while, she just kept standing there. I told her, she has to stop stopping and just walk away when someone finishes. We can't be there all night. It was fucking constant. We got a 5-year-old daughter with us. If you stay still, people will just keep trying to come in and take photos of you, or with you. But the nonstop frenzy will end when you decisively walk away. So I just kept hammering that into her. It's like, stop stopping. You want to go? Let's go. Like right now. Stop stopping because people would just like keep trying to take photos. Yeah. And I think was there one last lesson here? Um, yeah, here's a funny one though. This is a very upside down kind of perspective. She asked how many people asked for my Instagram, and it was probably only two, but that's kind of because I wasn't encouraging people to do that. And even if I did, I already got 602 new followers that week alone. And I knew that because a few hours before that, I checked the numbers. It was Sunday. I do that every Sunday morning, including today. I've been doing that for years. I know the numbers and the growth every year consistently. That's how if you take something seriously, you want to grow something, your Instagram, your YouTube channel, your business, know the fucking numbers and measure it very consistently. Like people don't even know how much is in their bank account. I check that every 7 days at least, just to know that there is no suspicious activity or, someone used my card for something or whatever. I know for a fact that everything is my own transaction, that kind of thing. Know your own activity, and your own growth. But anyway, yeah, so basically I didn't bother like trying to get Instagrams from this whole frenzy because even if I did, if I got like 10 Instagrams, 20 Instagrams, first of all, some of them would be like old ladies and whatever. And yes, it would add 20 or whatever to my 14,000 followers, but it really makes it wasn't really worth my time because I got more followers, if you think about it, in my sleep literally doing nothing. So it's something that I didn't have to do. But if you're not getting followers every week consistently from Instagram Reels like I am, make sure you do make use of that moment, that fame moment, that status, and get some Instagrams. I still got two, but those were more targeted. One, for example, an Italian woman who started talking to me and my wife. So that kind of thing, if it's targeted. Otherwise, it's just gonna be like random people. But yeah, I'm just being, for me, I get more followers in my sleep at this point. So it would makes no fucking difference at all, if I maximize that. But anyway, I'm just sharing those moments. You can find all this shit every week on the Skool group. Make your own field reports there, that kind of thing. I just want to mention that. Let's see if there's anything else. Let's keep up with the chat. What platform do you think he will try next? Well, he's tried courts suing people. He has tried Reddit, reporting to Reddit moderators, I guess. Yeah. At this point, I don't really care. It's just any effort made will just be once you built a following, and that was mostly a fake following anyway, like the real subscribers was significantly less. So it's like me. He didn't have realistically, like I got more than, let me check right now. I got more than, let me get the exact number. I got 4.369 million views. 4.369 million views on YouTube. He had 20 million. It's not, it's less than 5 times more. So imagine if I got terminated, like where would I go? Would I go to Twitch and stream there or something? And then I would struggle to build a following. It's going to work the same way with someone who didn't really have that many more views than me. Like 4 million compared to 20 million. It's sounds like big numbers and shit, but really, compared to someone like Modern Life Dating, he has something like 180 million last time I checked. Last thing I remember, what does it say now? I don't want to get these numbers wrong. I value the words that come out of my mouth. I value accuracy. So let me check here. Modern Life Dating has, you know what? I was pretty much right. 181,674,544. I was off by 1.674534 million views. I was off by 1.5 million views. So that's how much I value the words that come out of my mouth. I value accuracy. If Modern Life Dating was deplatformed, he could get away with streaming somewhere else because he has a shitload of views. A lot of those are from YouTube Shorts, though, so it's kind of weird how it works. But someone like Modern Life Dating, he could definitely find huge success on Instagram, and he has. Um, I don't really use and I use Instagram. I just don't watch people. I don't spend my time on it. I just go 15 minutes per day uploading my stuff, and then I just fucking ignore it. So that's the difference between wasting your time on Instagram and actually building a following. I'm just much more focused on the purpose of it. But anyway, it's like someone with like Modern Life Dating, he'll be able to get away with building a following on another platform. But even so, like I think even Fresh and Fit have tried this. They got 1 point something million subscribers on YouTube, I think. And I guess they get views on like Rumble or whatever they're using. But even guys of that size on YouTube are not going to get the same kind of results on YouTube unless you're a female streamer who gets her titties out every time to cosplay while playing games. Unless you're that kind of one, because that's not really massive on YouTube, first traps and kind of thing. Unlikely. So yeah, even his Jen Anthony Lifestyle's Instagram, even that had a lot of fake followers, but that's no surprise. So many people have fake followers on Instagram. It's crazy. It's so easy to do that, I guess. Um, but yeah, like for me, what's the point? Why would I buy fake followers or something? It doesn't actually do anything. It's like a number that's displayed. I would rather put in the work to actually build a real following because that gives me opportunities. Yeah, that's just the wrong mindset. Does that mean he cannot make a new YouTube channel and start again? Yeah, basically, just like I showed already, uh, near the beginning of this. I'll show it again. I'll show it again. Just to clarify. That's called channel circumvention of channel termination. If your YouTube channel is terminated, you're prohibited from using, possessing, or creating any other YouTube channels. You are also prohibited from letting others whose YouTube channels have been terminated use your YouTube channel to bypass their termination. This applies to all your existing channels, any new channels you create or acquire, and any channels in which you were repeatedly or prominently featured. And I don't know this because I read this on the fucking website. I knew this before I ever read this. I knew this years ago. I knew this as early as October 2019, I think. Because my channel was terminated in 2019. My channel was terminated, and uh because of that, all my other channels were terminated too. And I was able to get my channels back after almost a year, but mine was the cause of mine being terminated was because of a copyright dispute, which the videos were mine, but Real Social Dynamics, someone inside Real Social Dynamics, it wasn't Owen Cook. Owen was actually a guy who helped. Um, one person, y'all who've been following for a while, you all know the fucking story, but one person within the company decided to claim that my videos were theirs, and then that caused my channel to be terminated falsely. And for almost an entire year, my channels, when that's plural, that's not just the channel it happened to, all associated channels. So I had a notable dispute with Real Social Dynamics and kicked up a fucking riot with them. Um, a few years back, 2019 to 2020, because one of my channels associated was for a charity, a mental health charity, a depression charity, because my friend died 10 years ago, and I have a channel there. And the first ever interview I did, I interviewed my friend who died 10 years ago. And I interviewed him just over a year before he died. He died from depression. I don't say he died from suicide because the story is a little more complicated than that, but he basically died from depression. He didn't intend on dying that day. But that really upset me. So because Real Social Dynamics falsely claimed my own videos on my Ice White channel as copyright, that caused the Ice White channel to disappear, as well as all the other channels associated to my accounts, because there were quite a few accounts. And that included channels that had no videos. It included the channel, my gaming channel, because my friend was a famous game developer that interviewed my friend, which is now focused on mental health. It's a basically a mental health charity YouTube channel, and that was taken down. So it's like, how can you allow this within Real Social Dynamics to cause this to happen? So that's how I got my channel back. I had to deal with the copyright thing. So that was a different kind of termination, but I returned because you can reverse it if you what's the word to use? If you agree with the copyright claims, make some kind of thing there, then that's what it's based on. You're not terminated forever unless the copyright disagreement is oh man, I got no fucking words today. Is reversed, basically. So that's how I know how it works, like from a practical sense. But yeah, compared to what this guy's gonna face, what John's gonna face, that's just channel circumvention. So, like I said earlier, you can find whatever new channels or backup channels or anything, and should YouTube get a sufficient amount of reports that link his channel to the terminated one, that will cause the new slash backup or whatever channel to also be terminated on the same basis, because it's a blanket ban for the person associated to the terminated channel. That's how it works. Yeah, anyway, more comments. ISIS going in on this guy. Already did. Terminated. Call me a fucking Terminator now. Well, yeah, it's not going to be immediately, but you can literally probably just count the days that the backup channel will be alive for. I'm just really curious how long it's going to take. As soon as YouTube gets enough information, you can expect that it will fucking disappear before you fucking know it. Someone recreated John Anthony's channel. Yeah, I did show that actually. Oh, actually, I kind of did. I didn't play any videos, but yeah, it's this one. Let me screen share again. Yeah, this one. It's not real. It's not real. It's real in a sense. It's not him, is what I'm saying. The difference is there's an S on the end, so it's not the same. And if it was the same videos would be there, the same numbers would be there, the subscribers, the views would all be there, everything would be there, unless like one video was deleted permanently and then it would bring the views down by a very tiny margin. That's how YouTube works. This is a channel someone made. Oh, they actually made it. That is very interesting. Almost exactly, just under a year before the termination. That's kind of funny. 4 days out. That's crazy. So it was made 361 days before the actual channel was terminated. But yeah, this is someone's just using that for just to make fun of him. It says John Anthony Lifestyle finale highlights irrefutable proof of his lies. John Anthony Lifestyle is homosexual. It kind of looks like I made it, but no, I'm not the person behind that. Because in my titles, um I capitalize every word, and this person's doing the same. Oh, actually, no. I would capitalize the O in of. So actually, yeah. That's how you know it's not me. That's how you know it's not me. I am OCD where writing is concerned. I need a capital O there. If there's no capital O there, I'm not fucking uploading it. That's just me. I'm crazy. I'm just fucking OCD with things being consistent and correct and factual. You know I can't lie when I'm fucking OCD about it. But anyway, it's not about me. Yeah, there we go. Um, he actually had some good dating advice, but dude was such a hater. Here's the thing. I'm gonna level with you. I'm not that kind of guy who would say he had nothing to offer. I'm the kind of guy who you could criticize people as much as you fucking want, but that person is still human. Like, I don't know. I don't do we want to talk about people like Epstein and Diddy? Those are extremes, but I could at least say positive things about people, uh, even if I had heavy criticisms of them. So I'm not going to sit here and say every word that came out of John's mouth was a lie, because I know there were some things he said that would have been true. For example, um, here's a lie, for example. She was a female 10. First of all, there were two lies there. The actual sentence should be he was a transgender. That's the factual sentence. I'm just OCD about this. Now there was something he said which was the truth, but what was it exactly? He was saying something about man, I can't even remember. But oh yeah, I remember now. He was saying that part of his insecurity, I'm paraphrasing here, part of his insecurity comes from his abusive childhood. Like that's something honest you can hear. Now, that seems like an honest thing. Like I wasn't there. I don't know what his childhood was like for sure, so I can't say that's truth, that's a lie. But that sounds honest. So you can at least give credit. Like if John's watching this right now, I'm not gonna say John lied about everything. There were things that he said the truth to. But the problem with that is there were a lot of times where he completely made things up and just lied. And I consistently showed evidence about this behavior over a year ago when this whole thing started. He was making shit out up about me. Like, how the fuck would you even come up with this kind of information? Like, you weren't there. It's like if I pick on a random person in the chat and I say, let's pick on Mr. Justin. I like Mr. Justin. He's a collaborator. He's a YouTuber like me. He's been on the dating coach panel a few times. If I sit here and say Mr. Justin is a virgin, you have to understand that I have to be a ridiculous liar to say something like that. For me to say, I know for a fact, 100% fact, Mr. Justin has never had. What kind of bullshit are you trying to say here? It's just something crazy. You're just obviously trying to make up such a ridiculous lie that makes absolutely no sense and contributes nothing to any kind of conversation. So there were times when things would be like that. And the problem is like some people well, let me rephrase that because that's not a problem. some people appreciate that he would expose people, but out of those exposes, like you wouldn't genuinely know which were actually real exposes because he would make up so much false information and lies that you might like I am genuinely interested in who's a genuine person and who isn't, who's a scammer, who isn't, because I don't want people to be fucking scammed. I personally wouldn't want to be scammed. So I would value that information. But the problem is someone who claims to be doing that to be exposing scammers who happens to be committing the same crimes, if you will. It's just that's the point where you're just lying out of your ass. So I don't know. I won't go into that. I already said everything I had to well over a year ago. You could just check those out. It just shows you the full extent of like you really like it is valuable to know about scams and things like that. But when you take it to the extent of making things up about people, then you're not really helping people. You're just confusing people. So that's the part that I don't like. So appreciate him if you will, but a lot of stuff he said was completely untrue, falsified on purpose out of ego reasons and blah 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 blah. I'm not going to go into it. I already covered this over a year ago. Um, But anyway, yeah, such a hater is what it says in the chat here. Sorry for being late to ha 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 party. That's a good way to say it. Sorry for being out of the loop, but can anyone 101 me why it was terminated in a couple of words? YouTube Insider. Okay. If you want to put it to 2 words, here are the 2 words: internal escalation is the phrase that's used inside YouTube. Internal escalation. That's a summary of why he was terminated in a couple of words, literally. Internal escalation is what it's called. That's when basically inside of YouTube, they specifically look at a certain channel or a group of channels and examine policy violations and decide, do we want this person on YouTube or not? That's basically what happened. So that's to answer your question. Who made that happen? Well, take a wild guess. There happens to be someone holding a suspicious cup here that might have something to do with the answer. Um, I had this for years, by the way. How long have I had this? I took a photo of it, maybe, I don't know, probably 2018. I got given this 2018, maybe I'm guessing. I got so many random YouTube things. I got stickers on my suitcase. I got stuff upstairs, like hundreds of individual items. I won't bother showing. Hey, look, I got a bag here too. It's a bit old, as you could kind of tell, like some of the things fell off, but there's another clue. I mean, I got more down here. I got more down here. It's ridiculous. But I'm not gonna make a fucking presentation out of it. Anyway, like every video and stream, he ended saying he had a goal coming up. Oh yeah, but okay, guys, I got in the stream. I got a goal coming over. Okay, just happens every live stream. I got a goal coming over right now. Okay, I gotta go. I can hear the door even though I got earphones in. Cover the noise. I can hear. Oh, she's here. Yeah, and then you just never fucking see that. So so funny. Yeah, good observation. I forgot about that. There is something I'm gonna miss. Uh, that's a good one. Um. I do think he was lying about his body count. No, I don't think. Well, yeah, obviously he was lying about his body count. I don't think he's capable of killing anyone. There's no way because that just makes you a murderer if you know body count or what are we talking about here? There's no way he slept with over 2,000 women. Like, if you use math, I'm not saying it's impossible. Obviously, there are people who have done more than that. I can't remember the number Dan Bilzerian had, but he was doing this for well over a decade. I don't know exactly how many years. Maybe we should interview him. I could feature him on this channel one time. I can get away with that. Once or twice, probably. I could ask him. I could interview him. That would be interesting. Uh, I do think he was lying about his body count. There's no way he slept with over 2001. If you have a normal job, put it this way. If you have a normal job in 9 to 5, 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, you have to find the time for that. But if you're a YouTuber, dating coach that's making money selling people while you're selling things to people while you make hate videos about other YouTubers, then you probably will have time to dedicate your entire life to women. So it's not impossible. I'm not going to sit here and say that didn't happen, but I am going to sit here and say I'm not going to sit here and say that's impossible, but I am going to sit here and say if his subscribers on YouTube were fake, if the things he was saying on YouTube were completely made up, if his Instagram followers were completely fake and he would get like 2 likes on a post with however many thousand followers on Instagram, if nothing is adding up in anything that you're looking at where the numbers are concerned on Instagram, on YouTube, and the videos that he's saying where you literally have the evidence that contradicts the facts that he's saying, then I wonder if this number just happens to be true or not. That's how I think about this. Now, if you want to believe it, then on the positive side, it is possible if you dedicate your life 24/7 to just pursuing women because you happen to have a YouTube channel about it and your entire business is focused on it, then you have a financial incentive to get laid, but also at the same time he also counted men towards this so-called number. So, and then he also said originally they were women, they were female tens, but they were men. So it's like, so we automatically know it was already false to start with. So how far do you want to take this? Another part of this is he was already doing this for years. Like he was arrested in 2014. So I don't know. I know he was at least doing this 2014 or before. I don't know how many years he was doing this kind of thing. But if you dedicate over a decade to chasing women and you make a whole career out of it, then it's not exactly going to be hard to build those numbers up. Not necessarily to 2,000, but even if you suck, you can get it up pretty high, like in the hundreds, even if you kind of suck. And especially if you're using message game, then it just becomes so much easier. And faking your Instagram followers and stuff like that. So it just when all the red flags are showing and you really want to believe that this number is true, all the red flags indicate that's probably also not true. At the same time, I'm not saying it's impossible though, because you can at least dedicate your entire life to chasing women, then don't be surprised when you actually do get women once in a while. So it's one of those things. I, I don't have the perfect wording there, but I hope you understand what I'm saying, trying to say at least. Yeah, let's catch up with the chat here. Guess this count is why are we so focused on the numbers when we know for a fact all the numbers that we did know that we could see were faked? Again, like his entire marketing thing was focused on numbers, and you can see on Social Blade the YouTube numbers were fake. You can see in my analysis, the YouTube numbers were fake. You can see on Instagram, without any kind of analysis, the followers are fake. When the numbers are fake everywhere else, don't be surprised when the number he's advertising for something else is also fake. Don't be fucking surprised. So I encourage you guys to stop talking about made up numbers, okay? Like, shouldn't it be obvious that it was completely fucking fake? Now, that's not to say he didn't get laid. I'm not going to ever say he was a virgin, he got laid, he only had sex with 4 women and 2 men. I'm not going to say shit like that because at that point, I'm just going to turn into him and completely make up shit about other people. I don't do that. That's what he was known for. So why should I be in competition with that kind of thing? Anyway, fun stuff. Um, he had it coming. He took it too far to have some more drunk chow infield. Weren't those like years old anyway? Ooh. He even flexes inside his paid products about having threesomes with Liz, and suddenly he says a 19-year-old is coming over. Here's the thing about threesomes. It's so much easier than people actually would initially believe. Like if I went back to when I was a teenager or something, and someone told me threesomes are easier than you think, I would think, yeah, bullshit. But it really is. Like there was a promoter friend of mine who got into, he told me he was a very honest person. He was not a bragger. He was like borderline fucking homeless. And he would dress up, he would paint his nails. It's not mystery I'm talking about. And he was tall actually, and he was very skinny. Uh and just some random promoter guy, and he was like, he looked like he was something out of the 1970s. He was such a fucking character. It's crazy. I fucking love that guy. But anyway, he had this whole thing. He was not a pickup artist or anything. He was just a club promoter who just loved drugs. So drugs and club promoting were his game. And he was an honest person. He had no massive social media following. Like he had a very tiny amount of friends on Facebook, and I was one of them. I just got to know this guy because it was one of the clubs I was social circle gaming at. He was the promoter for it. And he told me, like, honestly, how many dozen threesomes and whatever he had, and it made sense. Is if you're gonna party almost every fucking day and dedicate like 20 years of your life to something like that, and it's your job, and you convince people with drugs and shit, then yeah, it's gonna be the numbers are gonna come. It's like not surprising. But my point of view, because I don't do drugs or anything like that, my point of view is it's very simple. This comment here, just to remind everyone again, he even flexes inside his paid products about having threesomes with Liz, his partner. And suddenly he says a 19-year-old is coming over. It's not hard to get threesomes you, when you are one and you already have a partner, you already have a girlfriend, fiance, wife, whatever. So you're already at two. You already have a sex partner. All you got to do is add one to it, and that's a threesome. So getting threesomes, especially when you already have a bisexual woman with you or a curious woman, it's easier because if you're coming from a place where you're struggling to even get dates, then you're gonna think threesomes are hard. But if you already have a girlfriend, then it's actually much easier because the reality is different. Your reality isn't scarcity. Your reality is you're already 2 out of 3. So I'm just giving you a very mathematical example there, but it's crazy. There was one time I already had a girlfriend, or maybe just before she was my girlfriend. I can't remember if she was my girlfriend at the time or if it was less serious than that. I literally just messaged uh a female friend of mine, and she was like, sure. And I was like, it was that fucking easy? What the fuck? So it's crazy how it works, how easier it gets once you're already too out of it. That's probably one of the moments when I realized. But anyway, John is the only blackout drunk for over a decade who can keep perfect count. Like he was Rain Man. Okay. Well, like if John's watching, like I think he said he was sober for a while now. I don't know how much, but I encourage that behavior. I don't encourage the drunk behavior. I encourage the sober behavior. So I sincerely encourage soberness for anyone, including John. Oh, here's a fun fact. 6 years and 1 day ago was the last time I had alcohol. It was my wedding anniversary yesterday. And the day of my wedding, 6 years and 1 day ago, I had my last ever alcoholic drink, glass of champagne, and I simply didn't bother drinking alcohol again. Like, what possible reason do I need? I know how to have fun. I could be boring too. I can focus on fun. I can focus on purpose. I can switch between. I don't need alcohol to have fun. So what better reason to stop doing alcohol than getting married? Something like that. It's just you don't need alcohol. There's a point when you realize that. Um, yeah. Natural friends of mine did around 50 a year or so. They only went out in the on the weekends and Thursdays though. So if you have no job, it's possible. You can also fuck really low quality. And look, here's the other flaw to the whole numbers thing. If you're so focused on this whole lay count, I could go to a gas station or convenience store. I could buy a bag of chips, Lay's chips, and say, okay, my lay count just increased by 20 because I ate 20 potato chips. Also, I could go to a brothel and I could pay for a prostitute. There, my lay count has gone up. So it's like this whole numbers thing. I said this before, like if you're gonna focus on numbers, we need some context because he already admitted that some of those in the numbers were men and he was pretending that they were women. So then what else do you not know? What more context is there where there's some people had suspicions about prostitutes and stuff like that? Context is necessary. Um, so you can literally just go to a brothel every day. Here's your New Year's resolution. Go to a brothel every day in 2026, and suddenly you get 365 added to your account. No context. Wow, that's a very successful pickup artist. I hope you get my point. It's very fucking obvious how that works. Um, that could literally be your New Year's resolution, and boom, there you go. You got the numbers. So doesn't matter how you acquire those numbers. You can literally just tell people it was legitimate. You can tell people they were women. This is what John was doing. Anyway, I'm fucking lost in chat here. Where the fuck am I? John literally tattooed Thor's hammer and Odin. This is cultural appropriation on his arm, then admitted he doesn't even believe in Greek. That's not Greek mythology. Uh, Wait, what? Let me read this again. John literally tattooed Thor's hammer and Odin, which is Norse mythology, on his arm, then admitted he doesn't even believe in Greek mythology, which is a different thing. While at the same, like, ask me anything about history. I value accuracy. And while at the same time, on the same arm, tattoos is totally legit lake count. Oh yeah, I see the point you're making. Yeah, he's tattooing mythology, and the numbers are also mythology. At least four is a good fucking movie. and character and everything. Um, yeah, at least four is real in our hearts. But since it comes from John, I don't believe it. Okay. If you hooked up with 20, 30 girls, as far as I'm concerned, you're good with women. To sleep with girls to add to your lay count is so weird. I actually agree with you. Like so many guys are way too focused on this. If you haven't slept with 1,000 girls, you can't talk about women. No, I completely agree with your comment. Let me just read that again because I cut that up a bit. If you hooked up with 20 to 30 girls, as far as I'm concerned, you're good with women. To sleep with girls to add your just to add to your lake count is so weird. If you haven't slept with 1,000 girls, you can't talk about women. I completely agree. Because if you can catch fish, if you caught 30 fish, then you know how to catch fish. Like where's the cutoff point where now you are legitimate? I'm not here like saying suddenly everyone's qualified to be a coach or anything like that, but don't you already have somewhat of a good understanding once you get to whatever number? It doesn't have to take 1,000 or 2,000. And it has nothing to do with how worthy you are as a human or how smart you are, or how intelligent you are, or anything like that. Obviously, it's got nothing to do with that. Um, here's an interesting thought. When I was young, my dream was just to find the one who's special to me. And I ended up being with a bunch of women over time, but then I got married. So for me, if you're just pursuing numbers, then your life must be empty. There's a very good if you check the recent dating coach panel, the polygyny one, I really liked the guys they had on there. Um, one of them, Rob Kowalski, he's he turned to, I'm not a religious guy, but he turned to religion because he was like, oh man, this is kind of empty, sleeping with all these women. And now he's a married man. He does the polygyny thing, so he is still looking for another woman, but his version of it is he would have to marry her first. So then have two wives, three wives, whatever. So his goal isn't to score as many women as possible. The really good fucking point. I gotta give credit to him. I would love to have him back so many more times because this is really interesting. I never heard this from someone before, but it's such a key indication that some people are really taking this the wrong way. When you focus on only chasing women, they come and go. You go on a date, she comes over, you have sex, she stays the night maybe, and then she disappears, and then you're left alone. Who's there to do your laundry? That's not what he said. I'm throwing in my version, but he was saying you get the full benefit of women when you're in a relationship with them. Doesn't that seem pretty interesting? Because if you're just chasing lay counts, 1,000, 500, 2,000, 10 million, whatever, if you're just chasing the numbers and you're dedicating your life to that, you're just gonna find emptiness because you're not getting the benefits from the real benefits from the woman. You're not when I was dating a bunch of women, some of them would cook for me and whatever, like that was a thing. But you're not getting the full benefits. You're not getting children from them unless you're being really irresponsible. You're not getting children from them. You're not getting laundry, housework, cleaning. Sometimes you might, cooking, you might sometimes, but you're not getting the full benefits. You're not getting family out of it. So that was extremely insightful. But yeah, I really love that point you're making. Because if you guys, I don't care what numbers you're at, if you dedicate your life to just chasing numbers. How much money is enough money. Like, that's not to say stop making money, but if you just, I thought about this, but the right metaphor has left my mind. Maybe I'm picking a bad version of it, but if you chase numbers and you're like never going to be satisfied until you get a certain number, and then what? Like your life never, you just hit a constant, you're a donkey chasing a carrot on a stick, and you never get it because you're chasing infinity, and you're never going to get that. So at least understand, if you want to get in a relationship with a genuinely good woman who has green flags, wife material, no red flags, or minimal amount of red flags, fucking go for it. Stop stopping yourself. Have the relationship experience. Not many dating coaches or, well, pickup coaches are going to say that kind of thing, because there's so much emphasis on let's get laid as much as possible, just to prove to other guys who aren't getting laid that you are worthy. It's just, if you base your whole personality on that, you end up like John Anthony lifestyle. Not the kind of person I want to be. Yeah. So I really respect that you said that, because that is an honest conversation. There's no um wow, the fucking words are leaving my mind constantly. There, that's such an honest conversation to have. So yeah, there's no obsession with the materialistic isn't the right word, but there's a similar word to it. Um, yeah, I think we got the point. Man, I really my vocabulary fucking sucks these days. I don't know why. I'm just each day get slightly more retarded. I absolutely agree. It's always sounded weird that he had an exact number like that. Yeah, there's another point. I used to have, we had a conversation about this before. Me, Marcus Wolf, some other dating coaches were there. I used to keep like a Microsoft Office Word 2005 document. And I would have like a table or something for every woman. And I would have like notes in there, like we have 69 and all the anal and all this other stuff. And it gets to a point, especially because the software was so fucking bad, like it would take so fucking long to load, especially once you have more and more words and tables and whatever in there. The software was so fucking bad. It just became, last thing I wanted to do was like go on a date with a woman I never met before, take her home, have sex with her, have such a good time. She stays over, then she goes home. And now, okay, I need to go on the computer and add this into my sex journal. I need to put in her name. Like, it got to the point where you're like, this is not normal. So I stopped doing that a long time ago. So yeah, I completely agree with you too. It's just weird if you're doing this whole thing where you're just like tracking the numbers super specifically. And hey, that guy was not known for accuracy. So I keep saying that he was not known for accuracy. So the whole fucking thing is completely misleading in the first place. Um, yeah, John is the best to ever do it. So good. In fact, his virgin loser clients could tell he was hitting on two Transformers, and Master John just shrugged his shoulders and went for it anyway. Wow. Oh man. Ah, exactly. It just shows garbage relationship skills. Yeah, you definitely need relationship skills. And or sex addiction, or some other issue. Just gonna fill up my water, fill up my YouTube cup. Start doing this weird thing where I don't drink from the bottle anymore. I just fill my YouTube cup with it instead. That's what I'm doing now. Oh yeah. Anyway, yeah, if you keep avoiding relationships, you're not an expert with women. You need to actually stage one is dating, meeting women. Stage two, relationships, keeping women. Notice how I said women plural, because if you want to do multiple relationships, harem rotations, that's still stage two because you're learning about relationships. Those are relationships in one way or another. Stage two, you can have monogamy, you can have polygyny, multiple girlfriends, multiple wives. You could have one girlfriend or wife and then a bunch of women you're dating casually. Um, that's stage two. Those like a mixture of stage one and stage two is you get one girlfriend and you're dating a bunch of other women on the side. That's a mix of stage two and stage one. You're getting both benefits. Stage three is family, raising family. So the guy's doing polygyny, they got like two or three wives, whatever, and some kids. That's stage three. And of course, stage two is part of that. So they're getting the benefit of family, they're getting the benefit of a relationship or multiple relationships. If you're not getting any experience in relationships, stage two of a game, you're not, I don't think you can say that you're an expert with women if you have no experience with relationships and you're just constantly avoiding relationships. Because it's like the reason I got into game in the first place, I had no problem getting dates, getting women or whatever. My problem was stage two. I could not keep a woman for too long. There was something I needed to learn. I needed to do better. So I welcomed getting the right girlfriend. I I didn't chase the whole. I still had girlfriends and then dated on the side anyway, most of the time, but still welcome relationships. Like stop chasing stage one 100% of the time. If you don't learn relationships, you're gonna fuck yourself over sooner or later. And look how high the divorce rate is. Like you think you can do this for many years, avoiding relationships and then get in a relationship? Get that experience right now while it's still fucking hot, while you're still young. Anyway, I don't want to go on a rampage rant about that. Anyway, Uh, profile picture is great. John Anthony Moonface. Facts. I'm 22. I still haven't had a threesome yet. Lol, I'm working on it. It helps if you already have a relationship. There is another point. There is another bonus point for stage two of game. Girls have some sexual thing towards cocaine. I know. Let me read this. This isn't me saying this. Girls have some sexual thing towards cocaine, I noticed, like they become crazy on it. I I I don't do that kind of thing. I have seen cocaine one time in front of me. Nothing to do with me. There were some Italian guys celebrating something that I was doing. Well, this is related to threesomes actually. Um, and they offered me some. I was like, I was so freaked out. I was like, what the fuck? I just watched them. It was just such fascinating behavior to me. I'm like, free Italians going crazy. Like, this is gonna be interesting. It's like watching Al Pacino right in front of you. It's gonna be pretty entertaining, I think. So that was a strange fucking week. I guess yeah, got such a long story for that. Um, yeah, you're still young. Girls have some sexual oh yeah, I already fucking read that. Fuck. What am I doing? I'm going crazy here. It's mostly a mind game. Do you think when John married Liz, he was roasted the priest who officiated the wedding for being a virgin loser? Holy shit. That's some interesting stuff coming in. that Viking stuff. Yeah, Viking mythology. Eh, Man, I gotta clear my fucking throat. Do you think that the 242 subscribers John had were, oh, you mean 242,000? Or were they the amount of people John blocked for calling him out and roasting him? I know it is. The Morin actually called it Greek mythology. Said he didn't believe in it and then tattooed his fictional lake count on his hand on the same arm. Mr. 157 IQ. Yeah, again, numbers you can't believe. It's about the quality, not the quantity. Some really good comments coming in here. Like, yeah, I agree. Because obviously, if you have such a crazy high number that you're trying to advertise, you gotta question. Again, he admitted some of them were men, so it's like, uh, yeah, they weren't female tens, they were males. To me, male zeros, because every man to me is a zero because I'm not gay. So that's just how it works. Um, so crazy though. How much of an allowance do you think Liz lets John have after she takes the lion's share of the money he scams to stick around? God damn, these comments are coming in roasting. This guy says, I've seen John's game. I was 50-50 on it. He knows what he's doing, but he's cringe as fuck. He always has this cringy, nervous laugh. He also teaches to lie to girls to make you look better. That's no surprise about the lying thing. John reminds me of Buffalo Bill. Man, I've seen your comments over the years. It never fails to amaze me. It places the lotion in the basket. It does as it's told, or else it gets the hose again. Holy fuck. These comments are too much for me. Goddamn. Um, yeah, like here's yeah, I don't know. Like it's sad sometimes real game doesn't look like game, which I really do believe that to some extent at the very least. Um, because I'll see comments about like pretty much anyone. This can apply to pretty much anyone, especially people doing a boot camp. Like, oh, I saw him doing a boot camp and he wasn't doing anything. But in fairness, uh, if you're just observing and you're like, he's not doing anything, he's not talking to a woman at in this very moment right now. Game is not being in a conversation with a woman while you're at the club every second for 5 hours that you're there. If you witness a lot of people doing game, some of the best guys you won't even know they're doing game. It'll just look so natural that you're like kind of mind blown, I guess. There's a better way I can say this, but yeah, it's a really not my day. Too bad you never heard the call where John was literally crying over his student about Liz beating him with the foot. MLD had played it. John went nuclear and sued MLD. Yeah, that was the thing. It was classic. God damn. Okay. Well, I haven't seen this kind of thing, so I don't know. If John's watching, you're welcome to reach out again on Reddit on your next Reddit account, and I'll be happy to feature you on the channel. One time. I don't want to get terminated. Only one time. I can tolerate that. For a genuine discussion. Um, like for real. I'm the kind of person who can like I there Justin Mark had like some kind of disagreement Me and Justin Mark had some kind of disagreement years ago. I can't even remember what it was. It was like I think it's something so minor. It's not that I can't ever barely remember what it was. But a person like him, a person like me, were able to see bigger things and move past that. And now we're really good. I met up with him in multiple continents by now. He has seen me do game, and I have seen him. I've been to parties and stuff with him. So it's what there's some the genuine guys are the ones who you can have a disagreement with without ruining everything. So I think maybe I don't know too much about his history, but if he had a very traumatic childhood and a fucked up childhood and whatever, that perhaps explains his behavior. But if he's willing to have a genuine conversation, no bullshit, no negative, just a normal positive conversation. I'm happy to have that. I'm happy to film it, put it on YouTube and whatever, because I'm not going to sit here and say he has nothing to offer. I'm sure, like, if I just have him on, even for like 30 minutes, and I ask him questions like, what's the biggest thing you think people should know about game, or the most useful thing if from your perspective, if we can talk about things like that, then I think that would be an interesting, positive conversation, and that would genuinely be really cool. Um, but going full negative on and like burning bridges, that's not my style. Um, I have made videos on him and shit like that, but I'm happy to ask him genuine questions and get genuine answers. Like he doesn't not have something to offer. He has dedicated years to the game. And if and I know he's going to be watching this at some point, whether it's right now or later. If he's really watching this, I genuinely do believe I can have a quick video of him at least, ask him some genuine questions. What's one thing you really think guys are missing? And one of your biggest lessons you wish you learned when you were younger. Stuff like this. That would be valuable information. But anyway, thoughts on Coach Whitepill? How racist. Stealing my surname and putting a pill after it. What the fuck is this guy's game? I don't know who the fuck that is. There's only one Senor White here. I'm the one. I'm the white guy. When you guys ever seen, was it fuck, such a good movie though. Grown Ups 2. I think it was Grown Ups 2 where Chris Rock talks to, I can't remember the other actor's name, but he says, I'm the black guy of this neighborhood. And it's that. I'm the white guy of this fucking neighborhood here in Peru. Yeah, I don't know who the fuck these random coaches are. I don't know who the fuck that is. And I hate this kind of pill thing. But I imagine if you're gonna phrase it as white pill, I'm hoping it's the opposite of the opposite. I'm not gonna say it. Um, but if it's called white pill, I'm assuming it's probably got I don't know what that's about, but I'm assuming if it's based on that because it's the opposite of white, in terms of only looks matter and shit like that, then maybe I can sympathize with it. But anyway, I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know. Odd that no one questions why out of John's 2,000 plus count, we have yet to see one of these perfect tens come out and vouch for him. Isn't that funny? John Legend had a testimonial on his website from a dark-skinned Indian dude named Dan Miller. I was LeMayo. Yeah, just imagine that. That's like me. being called Abdullah Sussman. Actually, I got a beard, so some people will actually think I'm Muslim. So maybe that one I could be an Abdullah. Do you think I could be an Abdullah? I could probably be an Abdullah. I'm the whitest fucking guy there is. I'm a nerd. I'm a Viking. I'm everything. I don't know, I'm not gonna say that. Uh, Coach White. Oh no, Coach White Peel. Banana saw. Oh man, when there's sell at the end, it's to me this shit is just cringe. I would just prefer for people to actually use their fucking names. And some of you might be thinking, oh, but what about mystery? If you pay attention, I think in the 4 hour interview that I did with Mystery last year, he said he was using it as his magician stage name, and then it just stuck. And the way that he phrased it, like he seems to prefer to actually use Eric von Markovic, his name. So uh, I'm not saying anything against Mystery. Mystery would actually be like he pretty much agrees. You are French Canadian? How offensive to call me French. Wow. Um, I was in Quebec twice this year, actually. I've been there a few times. I like Quebec. Well, Montreal at least. Unfortunately, I got a crazy story about that first time I went. So here's a weird fucking story. I went to a spirit guide, a medium, whatever the fuck it's called. And my friend took me there, female friend, and her daughter and my girlfriend at the time went along too. And the spirit guide, I saw like documentaries years before where they would expose these mediums or whatever the fuck they're called, and they would have like an audience of 100 people, and it'd be like, is there someone here who lost someone beginning and their name began with J, and then a bunch of of course a bunch of fucking hands would go up. Of course. So I watched documentaries where they literally just explain they read people's social cues, body language, and they make very generic, vague claims. And then, of course, someone in the room, when you got 100 people, someone puts their fucking, of course, have any of you guys in the chat been to a place called McDonald's? Every fucking hand's gonna go up. It's one of those things. So I'm skeptical of all this hipster, religious, spirit guide anything like that. I'm skeptical of all that shit. So I went in there with an open mind, but skeptical, and she started reading me. So I made sure, based on my knowledge, not to give any social cues. I would just stare in one direction, just to like look at the fucking wall or the table in front of me. And for 20 minutes nonstop, she started fucking talking, 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 talking. This was like the day before I was supposed to go to on my way to Quebec for a little trip with my girlfriend at the time. And she started saying all these things about my past that nobody would have fucking known. And I was like, I gave no social cues, but in my mind, I was like, what the fuck? You can't make this up. Even I couldn't tell myself this because I fucking forgot about it. None of it would have been online or anything. It was like at the far back of my mind, memories I hadn't fucking remembered for like 20 fucking years. How the fuck would she know about this shit? And for 20 minutes, nonstop, not even a fucking 1 second breath, she was just like speaking super fucking fast, predicting my future, saying things from the past that were true. Every single fucking thing she said was true. But I made sure, despite that, not to give any, not to react to what she's saying. I got a very convincing fucking poker face as far as I'm concerned, as far as I think. Um, I made sure not to fucking flinch or anything, not to bat a fucking eyelid. Um, it was crazy. And she would say things like, you will have a change of transportation. Every single thing she said came true. It was fucking ridiculous. And when she did the same thing for my girlfriend at the time, she said something happened in Syria. I'm like, that's so random. She's not from Syria or anywhere near there. She was Portuguese. And we're in Canada. And her brother, she said it was like about her brother and stuff, and like had a message for her and whatever. Her brother was executed in Syria by ISIS. And it was, they beheaded my girlfriend's brother in Syria. He was Portuguese Air Force. And I didn't even fucking know that. She was my girlfriend. That was the brother of my girlfriend at the time. I didn't even fucking know that. She didn't even fucking tell me. She told me he died and he was dead. So I knew she had a brother in the past, but I didn't know like exactly what happened or whatever, or what country or stuff like that. So once she told me after, I was like, what the all these random fucking things. So yeah, that's I don't know. I got such a long fucking story, but I'm a skeptic of all this like supernatural shit. I used to watch like these ghost TV shows where they're like trying to find a ghost or something. And I was always skeptical, but it's kind of fun to want to believe that a ghost is real and there's a fucking poltergeist or something. It's just one of those fun things. Crazy shit though. Anyway, none of that's got anything to fucking do with anything. Back to the fucking shit. Islam maxing is the new thing. The problem with being Muslim is that you can only have four wives. That's a very limiting thing. Uh anyway, where the fuck am I on the chat? I think I skipped a few there. Um I've seen John's graph. He said he broke 100 in 2012, 2000 now. That's the equivalent of having sex with a girl almost every other day. No BS. Who would even want to do that? You literally have to dedicate a lot of fucking time to that. And for what? Like, you're just going to use a condom with most of those? So it's like, there's a point when you're going to go crazy. Take it from me. Uh, yeah. And oh, and to think no children were born, that he has no children, that he was responsibly using a condom every single imagine. Imagine. I don't know, maybe he could have a vasectomy or something. I don't know. CWP, who was that? Took off over a year ago after a bunch of us flame broiled him on Alex Playing with Fire live streams. Uh, I'm telling you, Islam maxing is going to be the new thing. I'm going to teach Sharia law game. Interesting. Saudi Arabia game. We still don't have a game city for anywhere in Saudi Arabia. We have game Dubai, and even that's kind of risky. He says he likes Thai girls the most. Yeah. So men. Uh Have you ever seen John's daily schedule video? At 2 p.m., super hot 10 model comes over. She's out by 3 p.m. and another super hot 10 model comes over at 3 p.m. She's out by 4 p.m. every day. Every day. Let's go to Afghanistan. Someone actually asked me, or at least multiple people, I think, if I'm Afghan. My family told me years ago that I'm like a chameleon. I could blend in anywhere. I could be French. I could be German. I could be Russian. I am genetically Russian and Nordic. I could be Norwegian. I could be Swedish. I am genetically Swedish. I could be Swiss. I could be Turkish. I could be Afghan, apparently. I could be South African, I guess. I could be Australian. I I just people even think in Peru sometimes that I'm from Peru. I don't really believe it, but there are places in Peru, apparently, I never been there, that have like German populations. They could think I'm from Argentina. Like I went to Argentina, I was like, shit, white people are everywhere. I actually belong here. It was a strange feeling being in South America for so long. I was like, this, if I didn't know where the fuck I was, this could be a country between Spain and Italy. It could be like if the southern coast of France was not French, that could be Argentina. Like if the French Riviera was its own country, that could be Argentina. If you didn't know where, if you were in Buenos Aires and you didn't know where on the planet you were, you would probably think it's like the French Riviera, but if that was its own country called Argentina. It's weird, very European. I just been in South America too long. I'm used to all the South American things now. Uh, I hope John sues Ice White so I can attend the court case to see John pull out his lake out graph as proof of defamation. Holy fucking shit. That would be fucking funny. Man, I hope you could film those things. I don't know. Upload that to YouTube. God damn. Live stream it. John had a video where he claimed that these two tens, obviously mid prostitutes, lived with him. The dogs clearly didn't know who the prostitutes were. Okay. I agree. Sometimes I watch supernatural stuff before bed and try to believe it too. Man, like there were some really good ones from the early 2000s. I used to fucking watch those. Or like the late 90s and shit. I don't yeah, I like watched those when I was pretty young. Um man, those were the fucking times. I think it's on my mind, especially now because I got a 5-year-old daughter and like I want her to go to bed at a certain time, but I also remember I I I didn't have a strict childhood or anything. My parents were very laid back and everything. We didn't have rules or anything. But I started going to bed later when I was a kid because of those supernatural TV shows. Like I wanted to fucking watch those. My mom was super into those kind of things. So yeah, those were the fucking days. God damn. Vasectomy and froze. Oh shit. Okay. Have you ever seen John's sexual technique videos? The most cringe videos ever. Pretty sure old flat face has never even ever given a girl an orgasm. Who am I to judge? I'm old. I'm getting old. John claims he has. Oh, I want to say something here. We did an event with Ross Jeffries a few years back, and he showed a demonstration on a sex technique, and it was the craziest thing I have ever seen. I was like, God damn. Now we know for sure Ross is super fucking legit. Like you weren't there. I can't show the footage. I have the footage, but I can't show it. Obviously not on YouTube and stuff like that. And it's his anyway. But when Ross Jeffries showed a demonstration of something like that, it was the craziest thing I ever seen. I was like, God damn, Ross is the fucking god. It's crazy. John claims he has over 20K numbers in his phone. Yet his phone never goes off during a video or live. Anyone having half of that many numbers in their phone, or not even half, would literally be unable to do anything. There is no. Actually, I want to respond to that. 20,000 contacts on your phone means you're stupid because if you don't have similar numbers on Facebook and or Instagram, that's that's a complete stupid thing because if you're if you're connecting with so many people and your Instagram following is only like 2,000 or something, and most of those are fake followers. I can't remember exactly how many followers he had, but I have more and mine are real. And his were very, very obviously fake. And even non-Instagram experts can tell the difference between fake followers on Instagram and non-fake followers on Instagram. If you are saying you have 20,000 contacts on your phone, but you can't even get like 4,000 real followers on Instagram, you are full of shit. Or you're just obviously haven't put a very simple concept together in your mind where, I could build my Instagram. If you have 20,000 contacts in your phone and your Instagram is fucking weak, and you got no Facebook or whatever, you're stupid. You are really dumb. Like I reached 14,000 followers on Instagram last week, and those are real followers, real fucking followers. And I can prove it because I can open my, let me make sure I'm seeing the camera so I know that you guys can see this. If I go on Instagram right now, let me just open it again. You'll see, oh, it shouldn't show that. You can see 100, 100, 100 and notifications there. That's some art. And 14,000 followers. And that right there, professional dashboard, 1.5 million views in the last 30 days. 1.5 million views. And if you go into my reels and I can filter it to most viewed, I can see, well, you can see for yourself, but I can see here 1.5 million views, 1.2 million views, 1 million views, and that was only a few weeks ago. Uh, eight, uh, 844,000 views, 686,000 views, and so on. You can literally just open my Instagram, see for yourself. Those are real fucking numbers. And I seen Instagram followings with like 60,000 fake subscribers, and you check their reels, and it's like their highest has like 5,000 views or something. So it's like obviously fake. Anyway, let's keep up with this shit. Yeah, you gotta be dumb if you get 20,000 phone numbers, but no fucking followers on social media. You gotta be dumb or bullshitting or both. Yeah, normally it's gonna be both. Anyway, there are Mennonites that from Germany way back in most Latin American country. This stuff, human migration is fascinating to me. I literally just, man, Wikipedia has been my best friend since Wikipedia was a thing. Um, Everything. I just fucking love history and culture. I was at the Japanese Association a few times this week. I went to a free concert. Japanese musician was there and some shows and whatever. I'm a very cultural person. My family's international. Argentina seems like Spain. Well, guess who colonized it? But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Can you imagine having 20,000 numbers and only scoring 2,000 of them? And some of those are men. John claims the industry standard is 10%, while at the same time calling everyone in the industry frauds but himself. Well, here's an interesting thing though. Marcus Wolf said in a debate or video once or twice, 90%, well, for first dates, so that this is measured slightly differently, but where first dates are concerned, you can, like if you're pretty good, you can get laid 90% of the time on the first date. And that's a real thing. That's a real thing, I'm telling you. If you're making your first dates smart, doing it in a smart way, good logistics and stuff like that, close to 90% is very doable given the experience. Uh, well, yeah, that's on the first date, so there is some kind of interest there already. What do you think about Southern Spain? Oh, I've been to a lot of South Spain. I have not been to any of the places you mentioned though, apart from Malaga. I've been to Malaga a few times, I guess. Last time I was there was actually technically I used to live there uh forcibly during the pandemic. I wasn't allowed into the country I was living in at the time because I had been to a country that was banned because of the pandemic, how serious the pandemic was. So I was forced to live in Spain. And I was in Malaga, the Malaga area. I went straight, I didn't go to the airport. I was in Madrid and then I went by train to Malaga and then I stayed in Benalmádena, which is I guess a few miles west from Malaga. And that's pretty much there's like the little dip of Spain. It's near there, but a little further east from that. Well, I guess Gibraltar is at the tip there, but it's a little bit further east from the very southern tip of Spain. So I know Malaga pretty well. I used to work when I was working at Google. One of my coworkers was from Malaga, so I actually asked her, "What's a good restaurant I should go to now that I'm back in Malaga for the first time in, man, was it like over a decade or something?" So I went there years ago when Europe was kind of new to me, um, and I didn't remember much about it, I guess. But yeah, I know Malaga. I know Benalmádena. I know that kind of coastal area, because they have train connections. So as far as the train goes, where it terminates, and I think it's either Fuengirola or Torremolinos is where it ends. I think it's Fuengirola where it ends. I've been all over that place. I like Spain a lot. I was forced to fucking live there. I really like it. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, but lots of cool things to do. And I think that the Malaga area has pretty good transportation. I guess because of the trains. Renfe, I think is what it's called. The Renfe trains. Fucking research and call me wrong, but Renfe is the fucking train that operates there, um, on the coastline, that part of the coastline. And that is Comunidad Andalucía. Fascinating. And the flag is there's green in the regional flag, from what I remember. So yeah, fucking love it. I love Spain, coastal Spain. I'm very used to the South. Um, I struggled with women when I was younger. Mystery Method book helped me out a lot. I could have slept with way more women if I wanted. You want abundance, but it just becomes such a pointless thing. Let me read this again. Um, Well, if that's associated to what we were talking about earlier, um, 20,000 numbers, the amount of calls, messages, your phone would explode. It would literally be unusable. Well, you can mute a lot of people. It doesn't matter. I'm kind of defending him there. I don't know. There was a burp for you guys. Can you imagine claiming that a YouTuber won over $750,000 from another YouTuber and it not being another a major? I don't think things like that really need a news story. Um, I don't know. Actually, maybe you do have a point. That's interesting. No, but then again, there are like where do I get my news from? I get it from YouTube, I guess. I've seen plenty of videos before, and I don't know like who the YouTubers are these days, but there are videos I've seen around and briefly watched where there's like some kind of one YouTuber sues another YouTuber, and I never seen them in the news, but I did see it talked about on YouTube. So, but those were normally guys with like millions of subscribers. You're kind of talking about a guy with 40,000 real subscribers, if we're being generous. Um, yeah, I'm kind of mixed with that, but I get your point. I get your point. But then again, I haven't seen news stories on other YouTubers who have way bigger followings with that kind of cases like that. Like even Mr. Beast getting sued. I haven't really seen that in the news. I've seen it on YouTube. John's brain is melted, claiming the dumbest sheet. Okay, I don't know what that means. John can't even lie remotely believable. He cannot restrain himself. Fuck, I can't read. The fuck is wrong with me? From lying habitually, but to the point where each lie is more ridiculous than the next. John's lies were absurd. Anything that remotely seemed legit was stolen and or obvious. Would you be willing to box John Anthony and the proceeds be donated to autism awareness, aka for John himself? How what a twist of a chat. You are fucking savage, man. What the fuck? Oh, I gotta stop charging this. Ah, there we go. Um, man, there should be a charity called Victims of Tylenol. Is that the thing it's called? Tylenol? Tylenol victims. Yeah. I don't know a damn thing about autism though. I don't even fucking know what it is. I do not understand that shit. I don't even understand normal people. I'm just too fucking smart for anyone. Um, glazing myself there. It's just a reality that I fucking live in. Can you imagine? Yeah, I am in the right place. Can you imagine claiming to win a defamation verdict and that not being a major? No, again, the YouTube thing. You'll see it on YouTube, but I don't think you'll see it in like the New York Times and shit. John is the only 6'4" world's famous DJ no one's ever heard of. John acts as if chicks don't possess smartphones to look up a dude on the spot. Now that is a good point. If he tells them he's famous, they just believe him. Well, I'm trying to think of examples there, but yeah, let's not dive too deep into that shit. Man, I can't speak today. Can you imagine claiming to have a constant rotation of 17 Hot 10 models? 17 constant for years. All 17 were perfect and willing to see John once a week for 1 hour. Man, you have another good point there. Just like the thing with even the best fuck buddies or whatever, a lot of them won't stick around for massive amount of time. Uh, you just have to dedicate so much time to women in order to do something like that. And it's not going to be the same 17 women, or if we want to say 5 women, 7 women, 4. If you got a rotation of 4 or whatever the number is, let's just use a more realistic number. 4, 5, 6, 7 are more realistic for genuine guys who aren't bullshitting all the time. Um, 5 is going to become 4. 4 is going to become 5. 5 is going to become 6. 5, 4. It's going to go down to 3. It's going to go back up to 4. Go back up to 5. It's going to go down. Eventually, it's going to go down to 1. And then you're going to have 2 and then 3. It goes up and down, especially if you have a life. So To claim that you have 17 women on rotation and it's always 17, it never goes down to 16 or 15 or God forbid lower than 15. It's just these claims are just ridiculous. Absurdity. Any YouTuber winning the definition, I don't think it would be newsworthy though. No, I disagree with that. I think John's mother did a number on him growing up, probably bathed him till he was 12 and dressed him as the girl she wanted. It's obvious he has a murder's row of mental illnesses. The case that John claimed does not show up in the public docket. John won no defamation case at all. Well, actually, there is information I know about this. Like, um, it's the case was real. Um, and someone said you can find it somewhere. I think I've seen it, but I literally have been told from people who were in the courtroom what happened. So, um, someone fixed this guy with some information. I'm just so busy, I just can't remember everything about it. Uh, yeah. He likes to say Liz is a 10. She's pretty, but nothing special in my opinion. She just had a lot of work done too. He likes to trash other dating coaches, girlfriends. Looks ain't everything. Well, yeah, I think if you're gonna talk shit about women, then no, the case was real. I literally have seen it. The case was real. The case is real. I'm telling you. I have I can't reveal too much information because it's kind of sensitive, but um I wasn't there, but I know people who were there. I know people who were there. The case was real. It literally happened in, throughout June, July, August, around that time in the summer in Florida. It happened. If John ever does return to YouTube, I think I will take the top spot over our Steve, for whom John attacks for decades. Yeah, he's not coming back. Um, John must have a voodoo doll of ice at this point. John listed some dumb numbers, a fake case number, and people believed it. No, the case is real. I don't know. I'm not American, so I don't know how it fucking works, but there was a case. There was a case. Can someone give this guy like some numbers or something? It's I'm not making it up. You can ask the people who know. I literally know what he was wearing to the court, for example. The case was real. The court trial was real. It's a real thing. It happened this year, a few months back. It's a real thing. But I don't know where to find the information, like the online information. It's there was a case about another coach who's somewhat controversial, and it was hard to find like the website, the right page for it, but it was there. I found it eventually. These things are real. I don't know. I think in the last 1 or 2 years, these American cases have been harder to find online. If from my perspective, I don't know, but I don't know a damn thing about this American shit. Um, I'm a Canadian guy. The only time John shows up in court is when he's leaving court in handcuffs. Man, what a sight that would have been. Anyway, let's see what's going on here. Alrighty, I think we should live there. Fuck, that's 2.5 hours already. All right. To summarize, I guess, for those who only just joined, as a summary, game global. I'll put it in chat, the link. there's the article where you can find some clues and the examples of the policy that his channel violated and the reason he was violated. It's all there in that article. It's fun. So that's worth looking at. Aside from that, I also showed the Reddit stuff where he was basically sending me messages literally today, even today. Let me fucking open it and see if there's anything new. Um, okay, nothing new from him. There we go. But he literally, even today, he's just trying to still try to take things down in the background, but with absolutely no success. Like he can't even go on Reddit and take things down. He can't take things down from YouTube, but we took him down from YouTube. So there we go. Game over. Job fucking done. My work is fucking done here. The game Emperor wins. Here we go. This guy is saying he did not win the judgment of over $750,000, an amount that would be exceedingly rare and it would have made media and would, I don't know. Yeah, you're gonna have to ask the right person on this. I don't know where to find the information, but I know about the case. I just can't find I just couldn't tell you where the website is or shit like that. I says John recently sent you any cease and desist emails written in sidewalk chalk. Um, a few weeks ago, I covered this last time, but a few weeks ago there was an email he sent where he was like, I'm going to acquire a Peruvian lawyer and sue you in Peru. And then I heard nothing from him in that context since because he fucking can't do that. For me to be sued in Peru, I need to have committed a crime in Peru. And for a foreign tourist to come into Peru and sue a resident of Peru is just a, for something that never happened in Peru, that's just a fucking joke. So that he realized it took him a long time to realize that he couldn't sue me. He literally admitted it. And I knew this before he did, which is why this has been so fun for me. I knew for a long time that he could not sue me in the United States of America because I am not American. So what are they going to do? Deport me to fucking Florida, so he could sue me in a country that I very rarely go to. I don't. I've been to 9 states. I've been to the West Coast. I've been to the East Coast, mostly the East Coast. But I'm not an American. I'm a in the USA. I am a fucking tourist. He cannot sue me in Florida. So it took him a long time to realize that. So then he was like, "What are my options? I could sue him in Brazil, a country I never fucking been to, or I could sue him where he is. I could sue him in Peru. He's a resident of Peru. I could sue him in Peru." So he threatened me saying, I have now acquired a Peruvian lawyer and I will be suing you in Peru. And I was like, okay. But he can't do that because he's a foreigner coming to Peru to sue a Peruvian resident for a crime that has not been committed in Peru. I have committed no fucking crimes, and he can't sue me in Florida. He can't sue me in Peru. He can't sue me in Brazil. So he can't take my channel down, but I can take his channel down. My job's fucking done. He can't take my Reddit down. He can't do all this shit. He has failed completely in every single fucking dispute with me. He has completely fucking failed and made himself look like a complete fucking fool, a complete idiot. And it's just funny to me that he keeps trying all these random things and he still doesn't realize he's going fucking nowhere. He's just wasting his time. trying to get revenge against me, against the man who told the truth about him. It's just crazy. The whole thing's just fucking pointless. My advice to him, focus on your own shit and just leave everyone else the fuck alone. And none of this would have happened if years ago he just didn't start provoking people and lying about people and just lying to everyone about random things about himself, about other people. It's crazy. Um, he tried to sue some group and the case was thrown out. Interesting. What is John going to sue you for? Not believing his lake. God damn. Man, brings out the graph. Look at this evidence. I drew this graph by myself. It's proof. Definitive. It's such bullshit. The girls he showed were threes and fours, yet he claimed they were super hot tens. John is setting himself up for being arrested eventually if he returns to US for wasting the court's time and malicious prosecution. I don't know. USA is just crazy though. You can get away with so much. Like people are, how many times was that guy arrested who was in the news recently for murdering a Ukrainian woman? He was arrested so many times and yet he walked the streets. So the American court system is just really dumb at this point. But I don't know much about it. And there are all those movies like false accusations and shit. John lives in his own parallel universe in his diseased mind. John is a black belt in every martial art known to man. He had to take self-defense courses to protect himself from Liz beating. Fuck, I can't read this anymore. This is getting too crazy now. God damn, this guy's wild. Pick some girls that really proves that. You are so correct. It's not even something that should be surprising. That is such an obvious statement, but I have to highlight how accurate that is because um it's funny, like a few years ago when I started doing videos with Michael Sartain, people would say Michael Sartain is a liar. He got pictures of all these girls and he hasn't had sex with all 20 of the women who were in the photo of him. It's as if every time uh you're in a photo with women, it means you must have had sex with them. Otherwise, the photo cannot exist. It's so dumb, the kind of guys who make these weird comments where it's like, how dare Michael Sartain not have sex with every single woman in this photo that involves like 30 fucking people. Michael Sartain hasn't had sex with every single woman in it. Come on. Are you stupid? It's the most ridiculous thing. Now, of course, there are going to be photos of people with women. It means nothing. So you're absolutely correct. It means nothing. The only evidence, like I keep saying, is a video on a certain hub. Little evidence. That is the only evidence. Option one. Option two is a DNA test showing you're the father or a sperm sample. That's option two of the evidence. Aside from that, there is no way you can prove I had sex with every woman in the universe. You can't prove a damn thing unless there's a DNA certificate kind of thing or a video and that's called porn. That's called pornography. So you can't prove that you can take a picture of a woman in a bikini or like she's in your room and her shoes are on the floor, but that is not evidence. The only evidence is little videos of porn or a DNA test. That's it. There's no other way. That's the only evidence. Nothing else is acceptable. Um, and then to what extent is this a boast Like the guys who are doing this do this to boast because maybe years ago they didn't get laid. So they're trying to prove to themselves and get a validation from other guys. Man, if I started producing porn when I was like 14, then you guys can either believe me when I say what age I got laid at, or I could make a time machine, go back in time and tell my younger self to take a video every time I have sex. Like, come on, guys. It's just crazy how far this goes. It's just marketing. It's marketing. Lots of bullshit marketing in every industry. It's crazy. I went to a restaurant yesterday and they had some bullshit marketing. They said there was all you can eat of this sushi. And I asked about it and said, no, we don't do that. But it was advertised outside. I was like, this is some bullshit. What the fuck? So false advertising is everywhere. It's crazy. And it is annoying. Anyway, his intros, she showed the same pictures, sometimes cropped, sometimes black and white, sometimes in color. In the montage, 4 pics of a few prostitutes, and the remainder was Liz, made to appear to be 40 girls. He took little hooker hostage pics, obviously paid pros. If you look, the chicks all have tramp stamps and their faces are face down in the pillow hiding. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Man, if you're getting laid a lot, you're gonna have variety. I think that's a point that needs to be made. Variety in every sense. There's gonna be variety. Um, John in some totally terrifying fighter, what I don't know. Oh, John is some totally terrifying fighter, yet never has an injury. Um, John's clients pay him to learn game, and John takes a portion of that money and hires a pro for them to approach. Chick literally gets paid to then pretend she wants them. How to do game. Come back tomorrow. We're gonna have the full-on free coaching live stream. So we're gonna focus on that. I'm just gonna end this as soon as I catch up with the chat. Some dude, WW, Walter White, Willy Wonka, Walt Whitman. What's the other one he said? Yeah. Rated John a 3 out of 10. John lost it and doxed him and was mentioning it for years. He's so insecure, it's embarrassing. A ton of the receipts are the same girls in different clothes and Andes. All right, I think we get the picture there. All right, let's call it there. Tomorrow is going to be the free coaching. Uh, fuck, what do I call it? Live free game coaching. That's what I call it. Free game. I'm going fucking crazy here. Free game coaching is tomorrow. There's already a scheduled page for that on YouTube on the live stream page. So if you want to ask some questions tomorrow about the game, I'll be answering a load of shit. I am really discovering some even like super random insights. Like there was something on the Skool group recently, just today. It was like the craziest thing. Your question is never too random. Like I really enjoy doing the free game coaching stuff. I don't think there are any or many guys actually doing every week free coaching. So come join tomorrow, learn some game, get some knowledge, inside information, ironically. Already catch you guys on the other side. Game over. I don't think I'm gonna need to do more videos about this person ever again. Or not live streams at least, but memes, send your memes. Those are have any theories on UFOs? Oh yes, that's a good question. Um, did you see the video that I did with Russ Jeffries about UFOs? It has nothing to do with game, but it's on the channel. That's like the one thing we have on the channel that has nothing to do with game. We literally have a Ross Jeffries videos talking about UFOs. And he had an experience in like the late 1960s, I think, where he said a UFO landed in the backyard or something, and he saw something, and it's so convincing. I can't deny, like, I wasn't there. I'm not going to say you're a liar or you're telling the truth, but if someone's mentioning a personal story, and obviously he's not saying, uh, it's not like Ross Jeffries is saying a UFO landed in the backyard and a door opened and there were 10 female tens in there and I had an 11 some. It's not like Ross Jeffries is making some wild fucking claims as an ego boost. He's just expressing a childhood experience that is real to him. And so I'm not going to deny people who tell stories that are really weird. But if there's a tinge of I'm trying to get validation or something, then obviously someone's looking for attention there. But I genuinely believe if he saw something, that would be interesting. So that would be pretty fucking cool. It's not like Ross Jeffrey Ross Jeffries had a threesome with aliens. That's not in the fucking story. But yeah, my perspective is simply, are UFOs real? Yes, they are. If there's a flying object and you're unable to identify it, that is a UFO. If you live on what is it, North Sentinel Island, you're a native of North Sentinel Island, or imagine you're a Native American in the Amazon rainforest, and you've never seen a plane in the sky before, to you, that's a UFO because it's a flying object and you cannot identify it. It's an unidentified flying object from your perspective. Anything that flies and you can't fucking identify it, that's a UFO. So technically speaking, UFOs do exist. Um, but yeah, I don't really have any personal stories about that myself. But one time when I was young, I was convinced, man, there's something up there. I can see it. But it was a bunch of fucking birds that were just hovering. It was, and then I realized after a few minutes. But everyone else I was telling it to, they were convinced it was UFO. But I realized, oh shit, it's just some fucking birds uh flying weirdly. But yeah, there you go. Anyway, I need to watch. What's the name of the video? Let me get the link here. Let's see. UFO. Oh yeah, here it is. Ross Jeffries on seeing the future in UFOs. I'm gonna put the link in here. There it is. Bam. Crazy fucking video. Um, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I heard John added himself to his own lay count when he was wiping his ass, and his finger broke through the toilet paper. He called it getting a piece of it. Oh my God. What the fuck is with this chat today? What the fuck am I reading? God damn. No wonder he deleted everyone's fucking comments when he still had a channel. He was getting some wild fucking insults. Um, John says he got that ass. Yeah, his own. That's more John's story. That's more of a John story. Yeah. Everyone knows aliens are virgin losers unless they learn from the best to ever do it. You think it's aliens? I don't know. Yeah. There we go. Please stop putting wild stuff in the chat now. I need to fucking finish this before I go too fucking crazy. We discussed everything that needs to be said. I keep biting my fucking tongue. I keep coughing and all that shit. I keep yapping. John blocked me right away. Surprise, surprise. And now he's the one who's blocked from YouTube. There we go. Alrighty, so quick summary. Check uh the article. He has a backup channel, and given enough reports that give the right information, YouTube will remove it relatively quickly. It's not going to last. It's going to be there, but it's not going to last much longer. I can't pinpoint or predict how long it's going to last. It just depends on how long it takes YouTube to actually notice that it's a YouTube channel termination circumvention. As long as there are reports that highlight that, YouTube is going to notice and be like, okay, there we go. Because if that wasn't true, then Andrew Tate would just have more of his own YouTube channels. So if you don't believe me, just search Andrew Tate on YouTube. Search for Andrew Tate's YouTube channel. Um, I was just there because he was trying to swindle a young guy, already. Alrighty. I think that's pretty much everything then. I'm really fucking tired now. God damn. Catch you guys tomorrow. Free game coaching. Join the Skool group. I'm gonna put the link to the social circle game report that I mentioned earlier. The guy asked me if John seemed legit. It's like asking, man, I'm not gonna go there. Uh, yeah. Let's just fucking leave it there. Catch you guys on the other side. Game fucking over for this guy. There's no need for me to do more stuff like this. This is pretty much the fucking end of it. We don't really need more updates about this stuff. It's only like maybe he's gonna send more Reddit things, and it's gonna just gonna lead nowhere. He doesn't realize he's just sending them to me. That's how retarded this situation is. And yeah, any backup channels, new channels, they're not gonna last. Once YouTube notices and puts two and two together, it's gonna disappear. So don't you worry about that. Everything, if you want to know why he was terminated, check the article on the Game Global website. It will tell you. Um, and the previous live stream will also tell you. Channel violations. And I gave it in the first few minutes of this live stream anyway. There you go. Catch you guys on the other side. Game over, motherfucker.